Small, Public Affairs and Communications Manager for the Lynnwood Police Department. It's Friday, July 16th, and this is your LPD Video Weekend Review. Here are the most notable incidents your Lynnwood police officers responded to this past week. The first I'm highlighting here is what we call a behavioral health contact, and these calls are extremely common. On July 9th, officers responded to reports of a woman driving erratically in a parking garage below a business on Alderwood Mall Parkway. She ran over and then dragged a chain link fence. When officers arrived, the woman asked for professional help and made statements that led officers to believe she was not fully aware of her surroundings. She wasn't charged with a crime, which is often the case on these types of calls. Instead, she was transported to Swedish Edmonds Hospital for mental health treatment. We have a very restrictive pursuit policy, so this next call is an example of what sometimes happens when we attempt to pull over a dangerous driver. On July 5th, an officer initiated a traffic stop on the driver of an SUV driving erratically on Highway 99. Instead of stopping, the driver sped up, weaved in and out of traffic to lose the officer, and eventually turned off 99 and ran a stop sign. But the officer deactivated his lights and sirens because he determined it was too dangerous to continue following the vehicle. He had the license plate, though, and called the registered owner. She answered and sounded like she was driving, but told the officer she hadn't driven all day and then hung up on him. Later, Renton Police went to the address listed on the owner's state-issued driver's license, but found the vehicle to be unoccupied. Therefore, there was no probable cause for an arrest, and the case was closed. On July 6th, our Community Health and Safety Section team, along with our embedded social worker, attempted to connect one of our transient residents with social services. He was camping illegally in Scriber Lake Park and was told he needed to leave the area. Instead, later that afternoon, he broke into a homeowner's backyard that backs up to the park and stole tools and other belongings, all captured on surveillance video. When officers arrived and attempted to arrest him, he physically fought them and actively resisted arrest. He was eventually taken into custody without injury. Although he has a lengthy criminal history, felony charges were declined by the Snohomish County Prosecutor's Office, and so the man is facing misdemeanor theft and resisting arrest charges. On July 5th, an officer was doing a routine patrol when he located a motorcycle stolen out of Seattle. The person in possession of the bike was washing it at a Lynnwood car wash. When more officers arrived, the first officer attempted to make the arrest, and the rider quickly jumped on the bike in an effort to flee. Our officer got him in a bear hug and prevented him from leaving the scene just in time. He had a felony warrant out of Seattle, but was booked into the Snohomish County Jail on new charges of possessing a stolen vehicle and obstructing law enforcement. The motorcycle was returned to its rightful and registered owner. 3 loud explosions were heard on 3 separate nights near Beverly Elementary School in both late June and early July. The reporting party showed our officer evidence of explosions he discovered on the playground, metal fragments and plastic components that appeared consistent with small propane containers. The plastic slide also had fresh damage that our officer determined was likely the result of shrapnel. The reporting party, who is also a maintenance worker at the school, told our officer this is the second time the slide has sustained this kind of damage, and the first time he found metal embedded so deep that he needed special tools to remove it. 2 of the school's windows were also broken. 2 days after we documented this damage, we were called to Beverly again and found a portion of the fence and a trash can had been blown apart. Now, if you have any information about the criminal activity at Beverly, please call 911. On July 5th, the AT&T store at Alderwood Mall was burglarized. Multiple iPhones and Apple Watches were torn from displays, and a security system appeared to be intentionally broken and disconnected. Officers discovered scrape and pry marks on the store's door frame, and a hatch to the roof of the building was unsecured. A canine search of the area, unfortunately, did not result in any suspects. And finally, last week we told you about a theft at the Lynnwood Alta that resulted in a $1,500 loss. Well, this week, officers once again responded to Alta for a theft that totaled $4,000. The loss prevention worker at the store had a vehicle description of the car the suspects, a man and woman, left in. Officers quickly located that vehicle and found both suspects inside. They were in possession of the stolen merchandise, perfumes, and also heroin. And because of recent changes to Washington state law, they were given information on drug addiction recovery services instead of cited for possession. Both people were, however, arrested for the theft. That's all for now. We'll see you next time.